So today is August the 24th, 2019. I just figured I would start taking a video and maybe just do a commentary for 5 minutes about our place, which we've set up. Maybe starting off with Bobby. Bobby's in the basement on top. Hey you, Bobby. Hey you. Anyways, he's not talking right now, but he does from time to time. So this is the basement here. Just have a little bit of artwork, and we do karaoke down here, and we play the drums right here. I'm trying to learn the trumpet, and then on the other side we have weights, darts, and sometimes we need a fan down here. It gets a little warm. So, and then I just put all the old videos here in case we want to watch one of these old videos. And then we have storage under the stairs. I got sporting equipment up in the corner there, and I was just going through Dad's old tackle box and finding some good lures for me to use. I've been wearing his sandals, but they've been cutting into my heels, so I'm trying to find some inserts to make them feel better. And finally got all my tools all set up. And this is a motion sensor. You just put your hand in front and then I can see what's over here. So I'll be back in a minute, Bobby, okay? Or do you want to come on me? Huh? You want to come off? Okay. Come on. There you go. Good bird. Good Bobby. Say Bobby the Bobby. He stutters sometimes. He says Bobby the Bobby. Okay, so I'm going to put him on my shoulder. All right. So. And we got our bike stored here, coming up from the basement. She got a brand new basket. She likes that. And we haven't flown our bird kite yet, but we're planning on it. And here's the entrance. We have a really good map of the area. And a couple paintings I've done. I did that for my grandpa because he was a farmer. So I did that years ago. This was my first pastel sketch when I was 11 years old. And we got a little walking stick here at the front door just in case we feel old one day. And we got a washer dryer in here. This is our other bathroom, and we bought this for like $3 the other day. It's a 3D nature scene. I thought it was pretty neat. And here's a couple other paintings that I did years ago. And grant me the serenity to accept the things I couldn't change, and the courage to change the things that I can, the wisdom to know the difference. That belonged to my Nana at the cabin. And I bought that in Fiji. Scares some people. There's my calendar, crossing out things to do on the list. Oh, and my Nana gave me this. I thought it was really neat. It was hand carved, and you push the back and they kiss each other. She said, "Don't ever get rid of this, Jim. This will be worth a lot of money someday." And here's our fridge. I got $1 million bill, and Julie has a £1 note or something. And so we got all kinds of pictures here on the wall. There's me and my mom. That's when me and Jaden went for a hike around the lake a couple years ago. Here we are a couple days ago at the lake. They call that Gibraltar Rock. And yeah. So we're having a fondue tonight. We weren't able to yesterday for my dad's birthday because Julie had to do inventory. She doesn't do that too often. I think it's the first time on the weekend, but I got everything all set up. I like this frog because I can make juice out of it. And so I think we're gonna use bread, and then I have shrimp and lobster ready to dip, and a plate of peppers. There's Bobby's cage. This is the British wall, we call it. Sam made that for his mom, and it's heavy because it's steel. And then we got Big Ben, and Pink Panther is hanging from the top of Big Ben, kind of like King Kong. So Bobby has his cage all cleaned up, and he's got everything he needs. And little yucca plant there. Doesn't take much water, so I'm not very good with plants, so it's working out well. It just needs a little bit of water. That's me, the hard worker. I painted that 10 years ago. Julie still has to paint that one. So we just got a fireplace from friends of Julie, and we transported it home, and it's great. I don't have the heat on right now, I just have the light on. And I'm just watching a beach scene on TV. And yeah, we got some artwork set up around here. Those are Julie's, those two. That's Julie's, and those are Julie's. These are my grandmother's that she made back in the 50s. She did Pet-a-Point, I think it was called. And we got music videos down here and various things. And I got my synthesizer here in the living room. Stereo set up. We could do karaoke up here too. I even got my old records, believe it or not. So, cassettes, things like that. And I got this at the antique store the other day. I think I paid $30 for it, but I thought it was pretty neat. And coffee table slides around. It's on rollers, so that's good. And it's a good size. And here's our dining room. China cabinet. Julie bought this the other day at the antique store. And I bought this one. Arr, you Jim lad. Tie that scurvy dog to the yard arm. Arr. I just thought it was appropriate. My grandmother made these out of ceramic. And here's a few pictures we have. This was us in our school bus years ago. Our converted school bus going to the mountains, and we're falling out of the window, and my stepdad is scratching his head with his mustache. So we're gonna have a fondue tonight. We picked some, what do you call those? Rose hips. And we're gonna make rose hip tea tonight. And there's Julie's favorite mirror, Norman Rockwell. And Julie's 100-year-old lamp that I'm worried it's gonna fall off the top and smash. And there's my Mona Lisa, our aloe vera plant is doing well. As you can see, we've caught a lot of fruit flies. Sometimes we put Bobby in the bowl and he rolls around in that. And a few plants there. Here's a few more paintings I've done. So Bobby's been clipped, so he's not going to fly away. This is our deck. What's that called again? Rosemary. Yep. So our rosemary has been transplanted. I took it out of the garden and put it in that pot. It likes the heat, it seems. Haven't really used my hammock much yet. And Bobby has his bird baths out here if he wants them, or he has his fountain. And he was banging away on his chimes the other day playing with them. And he slides down his little slide there. The chili peppers are really coming out well. They're getting bigger. This one's a little more in the shade. The other ones are doing better. There's a Swiss chard. And we got 8 tomatoes that are ready to be picked today. And there's our sunflowers. And the gladiolas are doing well. And those are petunias. They're higher than I thought they'd ever be. Castor oil plant there. It's pretty cool. And this is some kind of ivy. I think it's called painted ivy. I only paid 50 cents for each plant, so it was worth it. And the portulacas. The portulacas are doing really well because they don't need much water. Mom said they were easy to grow. They look pretty good, and she really liked marigolds too. And here's the fuchsias from the hanging basket. And Julie planted these from seed. All the zinnias are coming out. They look great, and they're all different colors. And the sunflowers are about 7 or 8 feet high now. In 2 weeks, they should have a full head of sunflowers on them. It's a beautiful day today. And there's the volleyball courts over there, and the beach is just right behind there with Thompson River. And so now we go up the stairs, and Julie's always talking about Stonehenge. She's been there a few times. There's her hats hanging up. And this is our bird wall. So everything here has to be a bird. I painted that one when we had a lovebird and 3 cats. I had the screen on. And those belong to my Nana. My grandmother made that back in the 50s, and I painted that. That's from Grandma Love's house, my stepdad's mom. And here is the wall of Julie's family. So we're upstairs now. I got another mirror here in the hallway. We got some 3D pictures here. So when you walk across the room, it changes the photo. And we found this at a discount store for like $3 or something. There's an antique vase that people used to use for water before they had taps. I made that for my mom when I was 10 years old. I found that. And a few shells here. This furniture we bought for just a few dollars. And here's the view towards the west in Kamloops. Bath. We bought this at Bazaar along the river the other day. They were having a craft fair, so we thought, well, that was appropriate. And then we got dolphins here. Bird clock. I took this photo when I was in Tahiti when I was 24, and I blew it up. Here's the office. So we got games organized here, and About a file cabinet, so everything's organized. Got some holograms behind. And so I have the computer hooked up here. And then here's my sand collection from around the world. All the sands I've collected. This is a $400 chair that we found for $30. What a deal. And here's the master bedroom. And a few more paintings here. Mexico I did, and that's Moorea, South Pacific. Julie likes the lamps that I found at the antique store. And that's when I did a Halley's Comet in the Earth. Horsehead Nebula. And we have a fan up here because we need it sometimes. It gets so hot. And there's the clock with temperature and date, which comes in handy. Second bedroom. And I found this at the antique store. I liked it. We got a new headboard. And here's Julie's artwork. Here's Julie's artwork. And photos of me in the South Pacific. And Moorea was a beautiful place. And the motorcycle. And here's puzzles that Julie has done and framed them. Very interesting puzzles. So that's basically it. That's the house. And on Monday they're chopping down this tree out front, and I have to move my vehicle because if I don't, it could smash down on it. I don't want that to happen.